Hi, my name is Sheila Guillotone, and this is the Simsbury Woman. Today we're talking about libraries. In our digital age, are public libraries still relevant? Many of us have not held a traditional book in years. With the advent of e-readers, it's so handy to be able to carry around a small device which has hundreds of your books on it. This is especially true when traveling. I can remember a time when a long trip almost required a separate bag for books, CD player, CDs, all of which were cumbersome and very heavy. But while the convenience of digital devices that allow us to carry both our reading and our listening needs in one small device is obvious, I'm happy to report that public libraries are not going the way of the dinosaur. Recently, a Pew study took an exhaustive look at libraries in the United States and how they are used in our digital age. The survey had many takeaways, including that residents feel that their libraries serve the needs of their community well, and that regular library users consider themselves lifelong learners. Libraries today don't just lend books. Your local public library lends a great many things, including tools, games, and music. But they also provide study rooms, conference rooms, more sophisticated equipment such as projectors and even 3D printers. Libraries host book clubs, have business resource centers that assist in job searches, and offer classes on a myriad of topics, including teaching the use of those dreaded technologies which some thought would put an end to the physical library. I'm happy to report that the Simsbury Public Library is a perfect example of the modern library. I had the pleasure of interviewing Simsbury's business resource librarian, and today I'm delighted to welcome Stephanie Prato, who is the head of Children's Services at our library. We'll discuss how the library helps our residents navigate and grow in our technologically focused world. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Before we get into the actual what goes on in the library, perhaps I know you've been interviewed previously on one of the other Simsbury shows, but just give us a very quick, how did you get to Simsbury and what your background is?
Sure. I started just recently in February, so I've only been here for a few months, and I moved down from the Syracuse area. So at my previous position, I was the Director of Play to Learn Services at the Fayetteville Free Library, which is a suburb of Syracuse.
Okay. And how did you get to Simsbury?
I saw the job opening through the library listservs, the Connecticut and the New York State Library listserv, and was so impressed by the library and all the things it has to offer, and really looked at the community and learned what a wonderful community is, and it seemed like the perfect opportunity to take my skills and I have a background in STEM and STEAM programming and makerspaces, and I was very excited to be able to use those skills and bring it to what Simsbury is already doing and the resources that the library has available for the public.
Okay. I know I have STEM and STEAM questions later on, but you brought it up, so let's talk about that now.
Sure.
I happen to think that's of particular importance in this day and age. So why don't you tell people exactly what those acronyms stand for and how it translates into what you do at the library?
Sure. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math, and the A and that we add for STEAM is art. So I'm
so happy that somebody remembered to keep the arts in there.
Yes, the arts are very important, and we try to incorporate some type of art into all of the STEM. I mean, in every science or math program, there is an artistic component to it, and we, especially with kids, a lot of times that's kind of the draw for them, is they really enjoy that creative piece. So we incorporate that into the library in many different ways. And like I said, I had a background in that in Fayetteville. It was a strength of that library. And so I was so excited when I learned about Simsbury and the public library to learn about the Innovators Workshop, which is the makerspace that we have at the public library. And in that space, we have equipment like the 3D printers that you mentioned. We also have some lower tech equipment, we'll say, more traditional types of making. Okay. So we have sewing machines and tools for like paper arts. So we have a Cricut machine which cuts out paper shapes, so like very intricate shapes that are really hard to do by hand, but it's great for if you do like scrapbooking or that type of crafting, and it will also cut vinyl if you were doing stickers or stencils. So lots of different tools in that space, and we use it as an opportunity to, like you said, to share those skills with our patrons, but to also help them with some of it translates into entrepreneurial types of things. So with the 3D printer, for example, we have people who come in and they've designed things that they can then prototype using the printer. Well,
let's talk about, 3D printers are something that are still new enough that people are fascinated by them, including me. So I asked Stephanie to bring some examples of something that had been printed on the 3D printer. And she has some examples here, and I'm going to ask her to show us and explain who did it and what, and that's an incredibly complicated castle.
So the first one I brought is a castle, and I think this might have been a test print. I'm not sure. I didn't bring anything that patrons printed.
Yeah, no,
I didn't
of course
want to steal their stuff to bring on the show.
Right.
But so this one is a great example of some of the complex things that the printer can actually do, because it has all of these intricate kind of layers, and it's very detailed. So there's really a lot that the machine can do.
That's actually amazing.
It is kind of amazing. So the way the printer works is it's kind of, I think of it sometimes as like a giant glue gun. So it heats, it has a little plastic filament. That's a little tube of plastic, and it heats it up to a very high temperature, and then it lays down these little layers of plastic to build up whatever
so one
object.
at a time, and it just
one
builds
at a
it
time.
up.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we teach classes on how to use the 3D printer. Where
Now you have to start somewhere, though. You have to start with a blueprint or something before, right?
Yes.
So you've got to teach how to get the information to the machine.
So yes, so in our Learn to Use the 3D Printer classes, we go over the basics of the machine, and we teach people how to download files and print them. So there are actually libraries of files that other people have created and that they've shared with the 3D printing community that you can kind of download and print to sort of get started. But we do offer some 3D design classes as well, which are a little more like, it's definitely a skill set to be able
now
to
obviously
design.
The little kids, and you're obviously the children's librarian. I'm
not
sure
something
they're
quite
not going to be
complex.
deciding that, but you have some simpler things that I'm sure the children can manage.
So this one is a little leaf design. So something like this would be easier to kind of design yourself.
Okay.
The one I often start with is a keychain. So so letters. So you could do like the letters in your name, or we do SPL for Simsbury Public Library.
Okay.
So we put those letters together and then a little ring, and we give those away as little takeaways.
Oh, that's nice.
Sometimes, so that's an easy design project to start with. Another fun one, and you could do the leaf shape, or you could pick any shape, but it's really easy to make cookie cutter shapes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of fun, because you could print out the shape of whatever you wanted your cookie to be, and then, use it for another application.
Okay, and these are pretty indestructible.
They're pretty tough plastic. I mean, you can break it if you want.
Now, is there anything other than plastic that's used, or?
That's a good question. So our 3D printers in the library only use plastic. However, there are 3D printers out there in the world that print in sugar. They're confectionery printers. Yeah, and if you can
that's
imagine
cheating. You
some
go
of
in
the amazing things that I'm sure that they can print.
The Culinary Institute is not going to be happy to hear that, because that's supposed to be one of the skills the chefs learn.
There are some 3D printers that are like huge size industrial ones that actually print in concrete. So the application for that would be like they're able to build simple, square, but really quick structures. So if you think of like disaster relief, where you needed to create housing for people quickly. They're also using it in the medical industries now.
I've actually had checked that out myself, because at some point a knee replacement is looking to be on the horizon, and now there's a company that actually, and I went to the doctor who's local, Milford, but they literally take all your measurements and they create a knee that only fits you. So the surgeon
amazing.
doesn't have to worry about, it fitting or anything else. So there are, I'm sure there are other medical applications too. That's just one I happen to know about. Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not able to do it quite at that level, but we're hoping that anybody, literally anybody from kids up through adults, children under 12 have to be accompanied by a parent, but we will train younger children, and we're giving them that base level of information to be able to start exploring this world and learning more and developing these skills that then are applicable in so many different areas.
Right. So how do you get the kids interested in technology? I could understand because they're all technologically adept, but now you're adding in science and math, and how do you incorporate that?
Well, because we are the public library and all of our programs are voluntary, we focus on the fun aspect of them. And I always try to have an activity that I think kids will find really exciting. And then kind of the math and the science components are underlying, but they're not necessarily, I don't say come to our math class.
Of course not.
But I'll say learn how to design something on the 3D printer, and then you're using that's using geometry.
Okay.
It's using spatial relations. You have to be aware of the dimensions of things when you're creating
sneak it in without them knowing.
So we kind of bundle it all together. So they get this really cool thing that they get to take home at the end of the session, but they're also learning all of these skills, and they're doing it in a self-driven kind of way where they're able to choose the topics that they're interested in. And again, hopefully our goal is always that they're having fun while they're learning. So.
Yeah, we're going off on a tangent here because there's so many other programs I wanted to talk about. One of them was you have this, and I was a reader when I was little, still am. I mean, don't go outside, read a book. But what is this 1,000 books before kindergarten?
That is a great
Explain
program.
that one.
So the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten is a program that we do to help our preschool children be kindergarten ready. So the program is for birth up until children enter kindergarten around 5 or 6. And it's designed to help build the early literacy skills that they will need to be good readers. So one of the most important things that parents can do is read and talk with their children. And when they're doing that, they're learning vocabulary, they're practicing comprehension skills. So it's critical for them to be successful in school later on. So 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten encourages families.
Break that down. I mean, that's a lot of books.
It is. It sounds
I
like
know
a lot
they're
of
little books, but still.
It sounds like a lot of books, but if you think about sometimes librarians and teachers will encourage parents to read one book a day to their child.
So that's 365 books in a year. Okay.
So you see that before age 4, you very quickly kind of...
You do get to 1,000, yeah.
Yes. And with the younger kids, I always say if we have a favorite book and we read it 200 times, it counts 200 times.
Oh, okay.
So they can definitely repeat titles because for those younger children, repetition.
It's the parent reading to the child, obviously, in pre-kindergarten. Although I'm sure some kids...
Some might be reading,
but
it would mostly be the parent or a sibling or a caregiver reading to the child. And then we give them a logging sheet, and they can just color in their numbers. So it's not like you don't have to write down the titles necessarily if you wanted to. So you could.
You could teach them to do that on the computer, and that adds your technology.
You could. So they can color in the number of books that they read, and then when they complete a sheet, which is 100 books, they can come to the library and they get to pick a free book.
Nice.
We have some prize books to give away as an incentive for the program.
Oh, that's very nice. I like that. Another program I wanted you to talk about was Hola Baby.
Yes.
I have a personal reason because it's my across the street neighbor who's involved in it. But so you do language things too.
We do, yes. So Hola Baby is a program that is facilitated by Holly McGrath, and she's wonderful. She does the program mostly in Spanish. Some of it's bilingual, but she does almost the entire program in Spanish. And it is for younger children.
I was going to say, what age children are we talking about?
I think it's 2s and 3, toddler age, up to preschool. and it's in the morning, so not school age because they would obviously be in school. And she does it, like I said, mostly in Spanish.
Okay.
And so the expectation is not that obviously the children speak Spanish yet, but that they're getting exposure to the language.
Sure.
I know some of the children who come have parents who are bilingual,
Okay.
and some of them have had no exposure, but their parents are interested. So when they're young like that, they do pick it up very quickly,
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
able to sing the songs, and
Sure.
you know, and she repeats a lot of the same exercises, and so they're building vocabulary in that way. And she has props and gestures that help tie the Spanish words to the English concepts.
Okay.
So it's a really great program, and it's a wonderful way to start introducing kids
To languages.
when
Yeah.
they're so young and absorbent, and they just
I'm always stunned when I go to Europe and you meet people, just waitresses in restaurants, and they'll, 3 or 4 different languages, and it just, they're so used to it. And, here it seems to be, there's an almost, I don't know, people fight against.
it's like a special skill.
Yeah,
that some people have.
and it's really too bad. Are there any other languages in the kids program?
Right.
Just out of curiosity.
Right now, it's just the Spanish language is the only program that we have, but we do have resources in the children's room that are language learning. So books, obviously, but we also have books on tape and audio programs that can help with that. Obviously, a large part of language is spoken, so they can listen to it and then repeat it back and do those types of things.
Okay.
So we have those resources in other languages as well.
Okay, well, that's good. That's great. Okay, one of the programs that I've heard about, and I've heard people in town talking about, is the program for parents and grandparents. Now, you have a wide variety of very interesting things that you do for, I'm not sure about parents, but it's the grandparents that I've heard talking about them. And you've got both in-library and external programs. So let's talk first about the in-library programs that you run for the grandparents. I'm not really sure. I just pulled all this off the website. But.
So we do have, we have grandparent kits.
Okay.
So those are...
Right, I did hear about those.
So those are designed for grandparents, although parents can check them out too.
Obviously.
But the idea is if your grandchild is coming over to visit your house, then you might not have as many toys and games and things for them to play. You can check out, it is really an enormous bag of stuff.
Really?
Yes, it's quite large.
Now, is this something you just check out and bring back, or how does that work?
So they check
so
out
it's
the
like
whole
a lending thing.
Yes, and they have, we do it by age, so depending on what the age of the child is, there are books and toys and games and kind of everything you would need for like a fun afternoon or a rainy day.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Now, you have one thing that's not in the library that I was really interested in learning about, the museum passes.
Yes.
How does that work?
So the Museum Pass program is a wonderful program that is supported by the Friends of the Library, and we partner with different museums to offer either free or discounted admission to our patrons. So we have a certain number of passes, and some of them are actually available from home, so people don't even have to come into the library.
Okay.
But you would select the museum that you'd like to visit and the day that you would like to visit.
Okay.
And then
And print up your ticket.
if the pass is available, hopefully, yes, you'd be able to print out your ticket.
Okay.
Like I said, some are available from home. We have a couple that you still have to come pick up the physical pass at the library.
And what kind of museums?
All different types. We have Roaring Brook Nature Center, Kids Play. We have the Mystic Aquarium. We have the Historical Society.
Okay. What about the Kids Museum downtown?
Yes, we do have the
obviously.
Kids Museum. There's quite a large range on there. I think the Eric Carle Museum, the Mark Twain Museum.
Okay.
So we have quite a few. And I will say every museum is slightly different in what they offer us. So some of them are free admission. Some is like a buy one, get one. So it's like one free ticket.
Okay.
And some are $5 off admission. So every pass says exactly what the discount is, and that is obviously decided by the museums themselves. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get back to some of the other programs. I know you want to talk specifically about the summer program. So why don't you tell everyone what the summer program is, and explain to people about the calendar and how easy it is to find out what's going on.
Yes. Well, I'm very excited to talk about our summer reading program because it is intergenerational. So it's for, I know a lot of people are surprised when I say that, but I visit the schools and the preschools, and we obviously talk it up to the kids because we know that reading during the summer is really important for them to keep their grade level learning and not slide in their reading level. But we do also do summer reading for adults.
You do?
We do. And babies and toddlers who are not reading, just like the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. If parents read to them, they can participate in summer reading. And this year, we're actually partnering with the Simsbury Senior Center to offer our summer reading kickoff party. And it's intergenerational. It's for everybody. So that is going to be June 19th, which is the first day the kids are out of school.
And
I
didn't know that.
It's a day to note because the library will be busy.
I'm sure it will.
So the party is from 4 to 7 p.m.
And where is it?
At the library. And so hopefully we'll have good weather. Yes, we'll have good weather, and it will be outside. But we'll also have our large program room. We're going to have free food, which the Senior Center is helping us provide. So we'll have a free hot dog and a cookie and chips. And we'll have live music. So the Casey Sisters is a local band, and they're going to come and perform. And we'll also have face painting and a juggling performer and temporary tattoos and games and all kinds of things for people to do during that event. So I did bring our summer reading brochure.
Nice.
So this has everything that is going on at the library all summer long.
But I would also urge everyone to go on your website. Because you actually do have a really good website.
Thank you. So we have information about the summer reading program on our website. So summer reading is 2 components. So we have the programs that we've started to talk a little bit about and also the reading portion. So you can go online to our website, to our summer reading page, and you can sign up for summer reading. And if you log the books that you read during the summer, we give you prizes for each week that you read.
Even adults?
Even adults.
Oh, and I can get prizes for reading the books I read anyway.
You can, absolutely. Absolutely. So if you come to the library and you tell us about those books, if you log them online, or we do have a paper option if people are not.
Can I read them on my Kindle?
Yes.
Okay.
You can read them on your Kindle. Absolutely. You can read anything. I had some kids ask me, does it have to be a library book for it to count? I said, no, you can read anything you want. And you come to the library and tell us about it. We have, we'll have a box, a treasure chest of prizes that people can pick from. And I'm assuming mostly the kids will want those things.
Yeah, but again, probably.
Adults are more than welcome to pick some things.
What they are.
So adults are more than welcome to choose things. And then we also are giving, for each week that you participate, you'll get a raffle ticket towards some larger prizes.
Oh, that's nice.
So
that's very nice. Tell us a little bit about, because I think there's 2 calendars on it, because I know the children's room has a calendar, and it's really a good calendar because it's a monthly calendar, but it shows you a day by day what's going on in the library. The library itself has one, but you have a specific one for the children's room, right?
Yes. So because we have so many events, and it is, if you take a look at the brochure and the website, it can be an overwhelming number, I think, of events that we have going on. So we try to sort of filter them for people sometimes. So we do have a children's calendar that is just programs for birth through 5th grade, or 6th grade, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what do you consider children? That's
in our children's room, it's birth through 6th grade, and then 6th grade through 12.
I've kind of forgotten.
It's like, they're like preteens. They're like 12 years old-ish.
Right. I'd forgotten.
Yeah. And then the teens, so once they're teenagers, we have teen programs that are specifically designed for those older kids.
Okay, that's good. There is one program that I really wanted to ask you about because it doesn't even seem possible, but you have chess and... what is it? Chess and Go?
And Go,
Chess and Go. Tell me you are not teaching little kids how to play chess.
Well, I am not teaching little kids how to play chess.
Is someone teaching
but
little
somebody
kids?
Is, yes.
Really?
So we do have a great Chess and Go club, and it's facilitated by a great group of volunteers, and Gert is one of the volunteers, and he comes in, and I think we ask that the kids have some knowledge of chess before they come in. So,
how old are these kids?
They're school age.
Okay.
So I would say probably mostly like third grade and up, but if like a second grader knows how to play chess, but it's, I think, mostly third through sixth grade.
And that's amazing. I can remember the tears when, my grandfather tried to teach me how to play chess, which, by the way, I have never actually learned to do.
I personally am not a great chess player, but we do have some kids we have a great group of kids who come to those programs, and we kind of match them up against each other, and they play each other in rounds, and it's a lot of fun. We have a great group.
Wow.
And we appreciate our volunteers who provide that, because like I said, I would not be able to.
Yeah, no. Now, what do you do with music? Because you have some music programs, too.
We do have some music programs. So we have Music with Marie, which is a wonderful program, and Miss Marie is, again, a community member who comes in, and she plays musical instruments, so there's live music. And
now, is this in the children's room? Or
yes,
okay,
in the children's room, in addition to like the songs and activities that we do, and her program is wonderful. We also do a program called Little Movers. That is a program that our library staff facilitates, and it's for birth through like six years old. So the little ones, we try to do something for, it's a wide age range, but we try to have something for everybody.
And what do they do?
We do shaker activities. They can shake their little maracas and things.
Oh, cute.
And we do a lot of the traditional nursery rhymes, like If You're Happy and You Know It, and Itsy Bitsy Spider, and things like that. And they sing along and do the movements, or head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Yes.
And we try to get them up and moving around the room.
Goose, goose, duck.
Yes, yep, those types of things. And in the summer, actually, we're going to do a slightly different program called Music and Movement. And we're going to do that in our large program room, because we're going to incorporate activities like the parachute. You remember that from, the kids are so excited about the parachute game.
Oh, that's great.
So we'll incorporate that, and they'll get to play some musical instruments, and it should be a lot of fun.
Great. Well, as usual, we're running out of time. I hope our discussion has encouraged everyone to check out our library and all of the services that they offer. Aside from just lending books, which they still do. I would encourage everyone, visit the library's website. You'll be amazed at all the possibilities for learning that you'll find there. Just this month, you'll find a program that's teaching teens how to use a sewing machine, and another program teaching adults how to use LinkedIn. So the activities are just in every possible area. Stephanie has explained some of the programs in the children's room. I would encourage you to enjoy some or all of these innovative activities. Every month, the library, as we mentioned, publishes a calendar for all the events planned for that month. The children's room has a calendar of its own, which gives everyone quick access to events that may interest them or their children. I want to thank Stephanie very much, and the whole staff of our public library, for giving their time so graciously, and to help all of our Simsbury residents understand and hopefully appreciate what a treasure our public library really is. I wish all our viewers a happy and productive day, and go learn something. It's fun. Thank you.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.